this is long, so I'm going to try to maybe summarize a little bit of it. So this is at the end of Perelandra, where Ransom, who's the main character, sees Malacandra and Perelandra. Malacandra is Mars, and Perelandra is Venus, which is where the second book takes place. First one was in Malacandra. And point being, in the way he sets this up is the planet and the angel that is ahead of the planet is kind of one and the same. So at this moment, he sees kind of the unveiling of Malacandra and of Perelandra, which is really masculinity and femininity. Okay, so he sees them kind of they take on a type of human form. And then he's he's observing what each one looks like. But as he's doing this, what Lewis is really doing is trying to paint poetically what the difference between masculinity and femininity are. Let's see, he says, he has said that Malacandra, which is masculine, was like rhythm, and Perelandra like melody. He said that Malacandra affected him like a quantitative, Perelandra like an accentual meter. He thinks that the first, the masculine, held in his hands something like a spear, but the hands of the other were open with the palms towards him. But I don't know that any of these attempts has helped me. At all events, what Ransom saw at that moment was the real meaning of gender. Then he goes on, he says, what is masculine about a mountain or feminine about certain trees? He talks about the philological phenomenon. So the way that we have masculine words and feminine words. And then he goes on, I want to give you one more aspect here and then hear your thoughts. Let's see. Let's go ahead and pause there because I'm going to get lost here and all this other stuff. All right, no, here it is. Malacandra seemed to him to have the look of one standing armed at the ramparts of his own remote, archaic world in a ceaseless vigilance, his eyes ever roaming the earthward horizon whence his danger came long ago. A sailor's look, Ransom once said to me. Eyes that are impregnated with distance. But the eyes of Perelandra opened, as it were, inward, as if they were the curtained gateway to a world of waves and murmurings and wandering airs, of life that rocked in winds and splashed on mossy stones, and descended as the dew and arose sunward in thin-spun delicacy of mist. On Mars, the very forests are of stone. In Venus, the lands swim. Thoughts on some of that imagery?
Yeah, so, especially at the end there with man's eyes fixated outward, and the feminine gaze sort of fixated inward. This can only happen in their complementarity, right? And further confirms how if you just have two people, gazing outward, or you just have two people gazing inward, you're missing the necessity of one with the other, male and female together. So when man has his gaze fixated outward and woman's gaze fixated inward, his sacrificial calling orients him outside himself. Hers orients her inward toward the family. There's safety in that. He knows that he can do what he's given to do because she's attending to what she's given to do. And she knows that she is safe to do what she's given to do because he's attending to the work given him to do.
And the life and the vibrance in that too is within the feminine, right? That's where the lands are kind of bursting. That's where the plants are, so there's this, that's where the beauty is, right? And then the man's kind of this rocky exterior that allows the feminine to, that's where life is taking place. That's where life is born out of. That's where, the home is.
Right. And she is always to be protected.
Yep.
He is always expendable. And isn't this even the nature of biology itself? Like when a girl is born, an infant baby girl, she has all the eggs that she will ever have for her entire lifetime. Whereas a man produces sperm, all throughout his fertile years. And so there's sort of no limit to that, which makes him expendable. It's why we always send our men to fight wars and we keep our women home to be guarded and protected.